gate. Put them excuses away. Pick up the pace. If you really want it, then you gotta chase. Hey, I need a whole lot of space. Make some room. I gotta prove that I'm nothing like you. And I'ma do it. If it's in the way, then we going through it. Like a Peloton, gotta keep it moving. Talk is too cheap, you just gotta do it. You ain't gotta like it cause it's stats approved. Only one way. Gotta bring it straight to their face. Ain't nobody safe. Plus it's only one first place. Know what that means? This ain't a fight, it's a war. We focus on up in the score. If you think you better than battle. If you really with it, then battle. Just battle. If you think you better than battle.
Let's get it.
Only first place finishes, so I seek and destroy every one of my nemesis. My power limitless, and my scorecard is perfect, it don't have no blemishes. No apologies, cause I ain't just my nature that makes me a different type of creature. I'm a bitch, bona fide gamer. Before you play me, better read the disclaimer. I'm that force to be reckoned with. I know your mama didn't warn you, you shouldn't be messing with. You don't compare to me. We're not the same, there's no similarity. Moment of clarity, you should be scared of me. Run all, you'll never get rid of me. So incredibly outdone. If we go to war, I'm the one you can't outrun.
Only one way. Gotta bring it straight to their face. Ain't nobody safe. Plus it's only one first place. Know what that means? This ain't a fight, it's a war. We focus on up in the score. If you think you better than battle. If you really with it, then battle. Just battle. If you think you better than battle. Just battle. If you really with it, then battle. Just battle. If you think you better than battle me. When it's time to ball. We back in the field, back. We ready, it's time. It's nothing but hustle inside of the huddle. You know that I grind. A dangerous mind, a weapon of choice when pushing the line. Go overtime and I won't break when it's crunch time. My end game is number one. Bet it all, give me my cash. A pre-game, can't stop it. Take off like a rocket. Break it back, don't bend mine. I'm the one now, you can't hide. Legendary like legacy. This is our moment, our time.
Our time.
This is our moment. This is our time. Time is now. It's time to rise. This is our moment. This is our time. The time is now. It's time to rise. Yeah. Coming for glory. We ready for war. The city's behind us. We giving you more. We ready whenever. The world is watching. The time is now. No other option. No other way. Play to win the way that we play. Destined for greatness, born to be great, ahead of the game. In front of the pack, leading the way, it's time to reign. The kingdom's here, this is our year. Been to the bottom, ain't nothing to feel, we running the game. Rushing the field for every yard, on every play. Nobody's safe, rise when we fall, but never stay down. The champs is here, doing it for the 10. This is our moment, this is our time. The time is now, it's time to rise. This is our moment, this is our time. Time is now, time to rise. moment. It's our time. Feet in the dirt. Nose to the grind. Like the crack of dawn. You can't stop the shine. Moment after moment. Day after day. It's our time. Lock and loaded, it's time for war. Ha. Tear down, kick in the door. Yeah, I want it all, give me some more. Ha. I want it all, give me some more. I want it all, give me some more. Yeah. Kill them all, it's time for war. It's time for war. Like pandemonium, I set it off. Yeah. Sacrifice, I bear the cross. Legendary, I'm a big dog. Hard knock on the front line. Pure blood, my bloodline. Headshots the first time. My aim good, bullseye. Warfare. Don't play fair, don't play fair. You not sure? Don't go there, I'm right here. No fear, I'm ready to go at top speed. No brick wall can block me. No army can stop me. Yeah, I want it all and I can't lose. I came far and I won't stop. This my time, I pay dues. Yeah, it's war time and I won't retreat. I want it all, give me some more. I kill them all, won't taste defeat. Now bow down at the king's feet. It's time for war. I want it all, give me some more. Kill them all, it's time for war. Kill them all, it's time for war. It's time for war.
Welcome, Rays fans, again. For the second night in a row, you get to listen to my awful announcing voice just for a moment till Wesley gets here. Luckily, I'm not alone here tonight. I have a buddy here with me, so I brought in some reinforcements. So we'll introduce, of course, Taylor Burris. Taylor, it's good not to be alone till Wesley gets here, because talking to yourself for about 5 minutes is not my strong suit.
Yeah, it can be a little bit of a situation, I have to say, and you probably have to think of all the people who are listening on LSRTV who are waiting for the great Wesley to join us. You probably make me take you to the loony bin if you keep talking to yourself a little bit too long here on LSRTV, because we do get crazy even when you just have two people up in the booth.
Yeah, it definitely can, but what's not going to be crazy? Well, I can't say that. It might get a little crazy. That is going to be the Maine Sim Racing Series here with some more super late model action. Last night lacked a little luster, unfortunately, with only 9 cars for 150 laps. Tonight, not going to be the story. There's around 29, actually right at 29, as Sean Kimball is race control. So 29 drivers going to be whittling that down a few. Few less not going to make it, but nevertheless, about 25, 26 cars battling here tonight at the outer ring of Irwindale, which, by the way, I know you've probably raced on it, is a really fun track here on iRacing.
But anytime you come to Irwindale, it's always a fun, fast circuit, and it's great to see that Irwindale Speedway in the real world is still somewhat remaining strong. Of course, you have Formula Drift racing here and the Arkham Menards West Series coming out this way. So a lot of great racing action still happening, even after the Toyota All-Star event stepped away after so many years ago.
And you can still see the TRD banners out there for Toyota Racing Development. Excuse me, but yeah, good night here. I'm checking. Again, usually I'm not on the mic, so I don't usually look all this information up. But typical, we're going to have qualifying here in a moment. We will have up to 4 heat races, a B main, and a little bit of warm up. Where we get to play that new fancy iRacing commercial they have during that warm up. You'll get to see it if you haven't already for all the fans out there watching. But anytime you come to this league with Matthew Burgoyne out here, Max Cookson, Dominic Couric, Tyler Connolly, these guys, there's going to be a good race because those are some heavy hitters here in short track racing.
Well, you're talking about some of the biggest names in super late model racing on the iRacing platform and even in the real world. Some of these drivers taking it head-to-head as they work their way around the circuit. Max Cookson definitely and one driver. You touched on Tyler Connolly. Matthew Burgoyne always up towards the front of the field one way or another.
Yeah, they are definitely, and we hate to bring it up, but it's definitely a juicy story. Even though it's from last season, Matthew Burgoyne, he's a good racer. He's passionate about this sport, whether it be sim or real, and if you mess with his teammates, you may end up getting the wrath of him on the racetrack, as he did get suspended, I believe, 1 week for it, but. It goes to show the passion in these guys. But qualifying just about 2 minutes away. We kind of strayed from this a little bit, but since I haven't actually physically got to work with you before, we're going to bring it back. Who's your pick out of the litter here, as Wesley would say? Out of these drivers, who's your pick to win tonight?
Oh, that's going to be a tough one here. I mean, you got so many heavy hitters we touched on. I think the one I'm going to be picking on, it's a little biased because I know him personally and worked with him in several different racing events and teams over the years. Max Cookson is definitely going to be one. He had a tough break the last time I was on over at the Nashville Fairgrounds. I think maybe if he can stay out of trouble, he can be one of those drivers who can take that win up and really have a shot of winning here at Irwindale Speedway.
Well, you kind of got who I was going to go for, so... looking at this list, I'm going to go with, maybe someone who hasn't necessarily been in the top 3, but has done a decent in the series. I'm going to go with that 86. He's in 26th spot right now, Dan DeSanto. I know he's a little further down in the practice charts, but hey, every dog has their day where they get to win a race, right?
He certainly is. So it's going to be exciting to see how this will play out here. A lot of great driving as practice is about a minute away from wrapping up, and we're getting ready to go qualifying.
Yeah, qualifying, I always say it, we'll get your thoughts on it for these last 50 seconds. With qualifying and then heat races, I don't think qualifying is as important. It's still important, but what are your thoughts on there? Is it just as important, not as important? Is it even worth it if you're doing heat races anyway?
Well, I mean, it's a two-edged sword. One thing is, if you do get a good qualifying, as long as you're in the top 10, you're set, ready to go. You just have to worry about moving on to the feature event. For those who are in the heat races, you maybe want to be one of those first front-row drivers here, working their way up to make sure that they have a considerable gap over the rest of the competition. But, of course, a lot of things happening here, and who knows, maybe you feel more confident being in that LCQ because that's where you know for a fact you can definitely try and move your way forward. So it's a toss 22. So personally, for me, I'd rather be in the top 10 and qualifying, so that way I don't have to worry about any of the alphabet soup.
Yeah, everybody's had that bowl of hot soup where you get burned a little bit because it's too hot, and I agree. I don't want to go through the alphabet soup, or just to be Maine here for this one. But either way, it's still alphabet, and you don't want to go through it as qualifying is officially underway. We'll see who's going to come out on to the track first, and it does look like we are going to have some, as we'll pull up those graphics for you. It's going to be Cody Bubar coming out onto the track in the number 12, and, well, never mind. He had other thoughts.
He thought about it. He was going to go for it. Meanwhile, Jack McKee will take his way around in that number 10 Toyota as he will start his first flying lap out of 2. Really good line as he heads there. You're going to see a lot of drivers just hug right up against that yellow line in the middle of turn 3 and 4, as there's going to be a lot of ways to, in a sense, cut the track. You kind of want to treat this track almost a bit like Phoenix to a degree, especially over at turn 3 and 4. You see how drivers in the NASCAR Cup Series and truck cut at 3 and 4 to get as much momentum, and on the flattest part of the track, be able to make the corner. So we're going to see that a lot as McKee will go with a 17.56. As looking over the time right now, that is going to be good enough for 6th position.
Yeah, and you got Nick Dyer, the 88 machine out there here at the moment, and currently 0.131 off of the pole. Looks even good as Max Cookson does take the pole away from what was Cody Bubar, then was Dominic Kirk, and now obviously him and Nick Dyer going to just slow it down and call it a day. He is not going to finish that lap.
No, he's not right now as we pick up Alan Grass in the number 08 machine. He is trying to get his way forward. Not a good way to kick off his time as he just ran a 18:04 last time, so not good enough to really move on. Currently, it is Stephen Allen who has that 10th position as we pick up Arthur Jordan in the 15.
He's going to try to go around, and we're going to watch him for just a second. I don't know. We're going to switch over here. I want to switch to this driver because I want to know where he's going to go and what is he doing. He's driving this thing about as slow as you can go. There we go. I'm wondering, Taylor, if he was doing that old trick where you drag the brake a little bit to warm those tires up. Oh, we got you muted.
Certainly do got me muted. That's one of the things about push to talk, unfortunately. But yeah, he's gonna try to put a little tire warming in there, ready to go to get a good line. And as he comes across a 17.351, that's good enough for P3 for the moment. He's not gonna run a second lap because he knows he's gonna be in the top 10.
Yeah, no need. If you're that far up with only 3 drivers left, he couldn't possibly get bumped out. So yeah, why run another lap if you don't have to? But PJ Merrill hasn't run. Cole Watts and Jacob Heathcote has not run. Sean Kimball obviously not going to be running. And I have the admin in my head there. I had to mute him because unfortunately I didn't plan to still be in the booth. So there are a couple of drivers that are going to go through this, so we'll quickly just run through this grid. Row 1 going to be Stephen Allen in the 75 on the inside, and the outside is going to be Jack McKee in the number 10. Row number 2 going to be the 25 of Justin Gallix, yeah, we'll go with that one. In the 58 of David Greenleaf. Row 3 going to be the 83 of Adam Jocelyn and the 5 of Gleason Smith. Row 4 going to be Ed Connolly and Alan Grass. Row 5 going to be PJ Merrill and Cole Watts. And that is going to do it here for the starting grid for heat race number 1. And Taylor, it looks like a small amount. We usually have 3. We only have 2 heat races here tonight.
It really is going to be interesting here. That means we're going to have about 6 transferring from the heat races, and then I think only maybe 1 or 2 transferring over from the LCQ later on tonight. So really small grid of drivers going to be entering in the feature race here tonight. As, of course, we know, heat races are going to be caution-free, and it looks like everybody's going to be making the feature race.
So we had 29. So that means we're going to be starting just about 30 drivers. So, it's going to make for a very interesting race. And we were talking about this as we're waiting for this field to start for Cole Watts, and it looks like he is going to be a scratch and not start. You see, you're used to the eNASCAR Coca-Cola where there's 40, 43 cars, or these big NASCAR events, but 29, that's only 29 cars, but if you looked at this field in real life, 29 cars would be an amazing field on any given Friday or Saturday night at a real racetrack.
It really is. So it's kind of amazing to see this happening here. And if you think about it, especially for your weekly short track racing action, as we do have Cole Watts not taking the start here in the heat race, is mostly we'll see just about anywhere between 10 to 15 cars per race, except for those big races that happen at your local short tracks where they may have 20, 30 cars coming to try to enter here. So it's pretty amazing to see that happening here on the iRacing service, where we're seeing a lot of drivers getting together and really putting on a show where we can have a 30-car field in the short track racing scene.
Yeah, and real quick before they get going, interesting fact: we're both from Texas. You're not from Texas, but you did move here
No.
because it's a good state. But interesting enough, Houston Motorsports Park, one of the tracks that Race on Texas does work for or film at, is the only asphalt track in Texas. So we don't get a whole lot of asphalt racing here in the state of Texas. Other than that one track, as the green flag is out, and it's going to be Stephen Allen taking the green, followed by Jack McKee. But we'll just watch these battles. If everyone's going to make it, I wouldn't battle too terribly hard here, just enough to get a decent starting position.
Well, not only that, but just learn a little bit about how your car handles over a bit of a run here. I mean, yeah, it's only a 20-lap dash here for this heat race, but you can learn a lot about how your car handles in 20 laps or so as we watch the field working side-by-side battle for the race lead between McKee and Allen. Allen on the bottom of the racetrack in the 75. McKee in that number 10 Toyota as they come across the line. McKee with the outside momentum maintains that race lead for the time.
Yeah, he's going to maintain that lead, and we'll see. I don't know. I don't expect him to. Well, I didn't expect that crossing of 3 lanes either from Allen, but he did it. And he is just running a totally different line than everyone else. But regardless of that, behind them,
trouble on
really
the front
good
stretch.
battle. And I believe, yes, the 25.
Yeah, it's Justin Galox there, as he has some severe damage to the nose of that number 25, and I believe that's also going to be to the left front suspension as well.
I'll take a quick look here and see what happened to him. Whoopsie. Well, hang on a second. There we go. Now we'll take a look and see what happened. We apologize for that one. Didn't mean to put the pre-roll, and there he goes for a little spin. But, hey, again, I didn't expect to be calling the race, so my apologies. That was totally a producer's little blunder there.
Sir, it's all good, but as we see that incident right there, of course, Charles, a lot of things happened. A little bit of a bump was helped from that number 25 as he came off turn 4. Was getting a little bit light, as we're now going to get the 2-to-go signal before we go back racing. But to touch on your point about asphalt racing here in the state of Texas, there is also a big regional karting series here in the state of Texas covering most of the karting tracks around. Of course, you got down over there in Houston, you got one in New Caney. Dallas has a couple of events, and then Amarillo and Odessa as well have a couple of great tracks racing in that amazing Texas Sprint Racing Series, which kicks off in March.
Yeah, I didn't know Odessa had one. I do know they have a hockey team, or at least they did, the Jackalopes. We had to play them here when I was working for the hockey team. But, I did know Amarillo. I actually have some family up there. I forget about the karting scene, but yeah, I know you do a lot of karting stuff here, and whether it's asphalt or dirt, karting is fairly big in the state of Texas. I would like to see maybe an asphalt kart track up here closer to my area. Unfortunately, there's not one too fairly close to Wichita Falls, but hey, the future might hold something good for us.
Certainly indeed, as we're about to go back green flag racing here, and Jack McKee gets a great jump on the field. Side by side with him, as now Allen tried to take right up against the wall here in turns 1 and 2. Slides back in as we see the number 58 machine of David Greenleaf trying to battle for second.
Yeah, they're battling a lot more than I figured they would. It's like I said, second place going on right now.
Stretch. Again, caution is going to come out by the looks of it. The 83 and PJ Merrill, multiple truck cars involved.
Yeah, that was just ugly right there is what that was. As we'll go back and take a look and see exactly what indeed did happen. There we go, replay on the screen, and it got ugly real fast starting around the 83, and see exactly what happened. You saw it.
Yeah, Adam Jocelyn hits the wall off turn number 4, collects multiple cars, the 00 of PJ Merrill, as well as several other cars involved in this one. Alan Grass, Gleason Smith, as these drivers are all struggling to try to get around this circuit, as Gleason Smith in that number 5, he's going to come down pit road.
And unfortunate, again, we mentioned about it, and already back to green. They must have shortened that caution big time.
They didn't even throw at the caution when that incident happened.
Oh, well, there you go. I went to the replay. I thought the caution was going to throw. I'm surprised it didn't. So I will go back to it. So my apologies there. But I deemed that was big enough for a caution, so not sure, why admins did not or the iRacing didn't, but either way, we have 8 to go.
We certainly do have 8 to go, and Jack McKee. And it's kind of funny, we talked about at the start of the race, we think drivers are going to make the show. No need to really push the envelope, but I guess some people saw a different viewpoint on that matter and try to push the limits of their cars here in the closing stages. 7 laps to go. Your top 3 separated themselves by about a second over Ed Connolly in the 111.
Yeah, and I can only imagine that race control with Sean Kimball is over there is telling these guys, calm down. Everyone's going to make it. Yeah, I know him. I've listened to him do it before, so I'm sure he is. But, yeah, just a crazy heat race number 1 here with these guys beating and banging. But, hey, that is short track racing, I guess, at the end of the day. But just a little wilder than I thought. We were going to have a mild west, and we had the wild west out here. And we come up to 5 laps to go.
5 laps to go as we have the battle for second between Stephen Allen and David Greenleaf. Allen will complete the pass on Greenleaf as they work their way back down into turn 1 and 2. Caution is out. Don't know what for. It might be the 25 again, as he's now on pit road.
Yeah, we'll take a look back at the 25. Again, I believe you may be correct on that one. So we'll go take a quick look at the number 25 of Justin Alex, and he is on track. He's in the pits now, and there he is breaking loose, and yeah, just broke loose and hit the wall.
A break for Justin here tonight as he will come down pit road, and looks like he's going to finish at least a couple of laps down as we're going to come to an end here for heat race number 1, I believe under caution.
I believe so. Caution laps do count, and I don't believe they have a green-white checker that's in the heat races. And, again, you see the 3 cars that are currently on a track. There's a couple more back there that are just not into the screen. That includes Adam Jocelyn, Alan Grass, and it looks like the 5 of Gleason Smith is now tagging the back of the field. But, I'm on another note, I'm shocked we don't have Wesley yet. He knew he was going to be a few minutes late, but it looks like we may have our full race together here, Taylor.
We certainly will. We'll still have some fun here on LSRTV for the Maine Sim Racing Series here at Irwindale as we're about to finish this race, and I believe the race is going to have a green-white checkered.
It looks that way. Still saying 3 to go, so green-white checkers are going to be happening here. Unfortunately, we do have the information. I know you probably can access it. I cannot access it because, then the UI of iRacing would show in the broadcast. So I assume we're probably going to have 2 attempts here at a green-white checkered. And this could get a little hairy as there we go. Now 2 laps to go, green flag back in the air. And we'll see. Hopefully they'll just ride this out. But no, we're 3 wide for the lead.
3 wide for the race lead, and the 75 of Stephen McKee tries to run right against the yellow line off turn. White flag in the air. One more time around for heat race number 1.
I'm not going to lie, I did not see that 3 wide coming off the start of the race, but hey, they made it work as Stephen Allen is going to come around. Like you said, final lap, white flag is out, and he is going to come and take it as they right behind him. So Ed Connolly and Adam Jocelyn going to get into a little tango back behind them. But nevertheless, there's your rundown. Everyone's going to make it, so really no need to go over those full results for you. But we'll go over the grid here for heat race number 2. As it's going to be Tyler Jordan in the 29 on the inside of row 1. Outside row 1 is going to be Brian Conover. Row 2 going to be Scott Tapley in the 13. And on the outside in the 11 of Chris Fortier. In row 3 is going to be the inside 22 of Chris York and the 24 of Brian Treadwell. And row number 4 is going to be the inside is 86. Dan DeSanto, my pick to win. We'll see if he can do it here tonight. In the outside, the number 4 of Arthur Jordan. And rounding out the field is going to be the 28 on the inside of Sean Kimball. Race control will not be racing. And outside now, moving to the inside, will be Jacob Heathcote in the 32.
A hush falls over the crowd as we hear the rumbles of 9 super late models about to go around this track for 20 laps here in heat race number 2. Reminder, all these drivers are going to be making it into the feature event as they work their way around. We won't even have an LCQ as well, so we'll just go right into the feature race by the looks of it, if everything is set up properly.
And I am just literally as you say that, Taylor, I'm getting word from Sean Kimball. He said with only 2 heats means 6 will make it from the LCQ, so we are going to go ahead and run that LCQ race.
All right, so we're going to have a little bit of things happening here tonight, and we're going to see what will curtail happen with our drivers as we're going to get 2 laps to go and get ready to go back racing here for heat race number 2 before we head to the LCQ.
And on other notes, too, got a note from Wesley. He is packed and headed home. That was 1 minute ago. We may be well into the feature before he gets home. So, hey, I don't mind getting in the booth there once in a while. Production is my thing, but, hey, everybody, they like to hear my pretty voice or, at least my voice. I don't know if it's pretty, but, yeah, hey, whatever. We'll have a fun time like we are already anyway, so I can say it's been a pleasure here working with you for the first time.
Hey, it's been a pleasure indeed, Charles, and I got to say, I've been in your shoes as we get the green flag, and already the 29 of Tyler Jordan checking out on the field over Brian Conover, and the number 4 machine as well of Arthur Jordan are working their way up through the field. I got to ask, are the 2 Jordan brothers, or the 2 Jordans actually brothers, I have to ask?
I don't know that. I know Race Control's watching the broadcast, so he should hear that, and he should let us know here momentarily, but I'm not 100% sure if they are or not, but hopefully we will get that answer given to us here momentarily. As I'm going to zoom out just a little bit, see more of these, and there's a really good angle in there. Everywhere, and we got one going down sideways on the front stretch.
That looked like to be the 22 of Chris York, who slides it down but keeps on rolling. A little bit of damage to the nose, but will keep on going, that number 22 Angry Bee machine.
Yeah, he is not going to be happy sitting there sideways, but like you said, he gets it going. No caution comes out. We stay green here with 17 laps to go in what is the second and final heat race of the night. And, I'm beginning to think we got the polar opposite race here. These guys just kind of single file, not pressing the issue. So maybe this is the normal, and that was like the angry, evil side of the twin brothers of this race. I don't know, but that first race definitely a lot wilder than this one.
It certainly was, as everyone's single file, giving each other plenty of room to race. You do have a battle around the 4th position between Chris 48, Brian Treadwell. Actually, that's Jacob Heathcote right there, the 24 and the 32 battling for that 5th position.
Yeah, and a nice little looking ride in that 24. I want to check that font a little bit. Doesn't quite match. You're used to the NASCAR, Jeff Gordon Rainbow Warrior paint, but still looking a nice looking ride as always anyway. And behind them, unfortunately, my pick not doing so odd here. Dan DeSanto in 7th place, but hey, you still got time to get up there. But Tyler Jordan just checking out from this field in that NOS Energy Tide number 29. And I have to say, I'd give him the nice looking ride of this race. That is a really pretty blue and a nice neon yellow car.
It's like a mix of what we see with like almost a Ricky Stenhouse and a Paul Menard type deal. You see, of course, that blue with we see Ricky when he runs the NOS Energy car, and then, of course, Paul Menard when he ran the Menards colors, or what we see now with Brandon Jones running the Menards colors, in a sense, but with Tide on the side.
Yeah, looking good. And behind them, Brian Conover and Scott Tapley. Tapley may give him a tap to the back bunker here in just the moment, as those guys putting on a nice little battle for second. And don't get out Chris Fortier. I think he's in this battle as well in the number 11. So we got a 3-car battle going on for second place. So, there goes the 97 into the wall of Brad Conover.
Brad Conover does have a little bit of issues, but does recover. He will work his way back around, but holds on to the 4th position for the time being, as pretty much Tyler Jordan has checked out at 1.6 seconds ahead of everyone else.
Yeah, he is gone from this field with single digits on the board. 9 laps to go here for the Maine Sim Racing Series heat race number 2, and the unsponsored race here tonight. Usually they have one, but this one is 100% unsponsored. So if you're looking to get your name out there to the masses, you can do it right there. Speaking of getting to, it looks like the 32 of Heathcote almost got his back bumper, or front bumper, to the back bumper of Brian Conover, but he manages to keep it off of him, and we stay clean and green still. But some decent battle going on here. He's not done with him. He really wants to get to that back bumper.
He certainly is. He's going to be all over him trying to see if he can work his way. Of course, Chris Fortier, transfer spot for the feature race here tonight, as these two are losing touch as they get 6 laps to go.
6 to go. We're watching this one. Oh, he gives it a shot in the shorts, but he keeps it going as we check in with our leader who, I'm pretty sure has NOS energy in that engine, because he is gone from the field. Scott Tapley, second place. Been there pretty much all race. Chris Fortier, just about a car length and a half behind with that M&M auto repair machine. And then we go back to the battle we've been watching, and that's these two, Brian Conover and Jacob Heathcote. Not a whole lot going on the racetrack at the moment. So it's been the trend of heat race number 2, just kind of spread out, not a whole lot going on compared to that first race.
Certainly is. These drivers really putting on a great show here as they continue on their way. 4 laps, coming to 3 laps to go here momentarily, but already everyone's pretty much just dialed in, but in small little battles throughout the field.
Yeah, small and steady, or slow and steady, but either way, they are coming up on 2 laps to go for your leader of Tyler Jordan. Jordan gonna have pretty much a cakewalk to the end. I don't think, barring any self-inflicting wounds here, he's gonna come get the white flag this next time by.
One more time around for Tyler Jordan, and pretty much just smooth sailing for him to get himself into the feature race here tonight. And as he just works the top side, and that's where we're going to see a lot of action on top in turns 1 and 2, riding that high line. Turn 3 and 4, we're going to see different grooves come into play. But for Tyler Jordan, out of turn number 4, he will pick up heat race number 2.
And there you have it. And of course, that LCQ will be coming up next. I believe it will be 25 laps, if I'm not mistaken. They had 5 more from the heat races, and we'll take the top 6 from that race. So, I would say it's unfortunate for some of these guys that didn't make it, but you still got a shot. So we'll see how this one all stacks in, as we got 13 drivers going to be starting this race. So quickly run through the grid for you. On row 1's going to be the 83 of Adam Jocelyn and the 97 of Brian Conover. Row 2 going to be Ed Conley and Jacob Heathcote in the 32 and 111. Inside and outside of row 3 is going to be the 08 of Alan Grass and the 24 of Brian Treadwell. Row 4 going to be Gleason Smith and Dan DeSanto in the 86. Row 5 going to be the 25 of Justin Galax and the 22 of Chris York. In row 6 going to be PJ Merrill and Arthur Jordan in the 4. Row 7 is going to be the 87 of Cole Watts. Sean Kimball not going to be starting this race, and nobody going to be in row number 8. And it looks like Cole Watts not going to be starting this one as well. And he looks stone cold, but I believe my predecessor is here. Well, he doesn't have his headset on yet. He can hear me because I can see him smiling, but I believe Wesley is here as we are getting ready for the LCQ.
I am. I just come in through the back door, and I just got done doing a doubleheader radio broadcast for basketball, and looking forward to calling what is Irwindale Speedway, the Maine Sim Racing Series, and Charles, and I believe Taylor. Is Taylor here, Taylor?
I'm alive and kicking. We're here to go.
Taylor. Hey, man, we haven't worked together since Christmas and New Year's, my friend. Hope you had a great Christmas and New Year. We're back in Irwindale tonight.
We are back in Irwindale, another great Maine staple in California racing on the short track scene, as we'll see a lot of it happening here tonight as we get ready to go racing for our LCQ for 25 laps, and of course, top 6 advance to the feature.
Last chance qualifier should be a good one with Adam Jocelyn ready to bring Brian Conover on the front row at the outer part of the Irwindale Speedway. And of course, true story, Taylor, we get a long red flag period, I might tell it to you. We're green flag though in the last chance qualifier here at Irwindale. The outer track is the bigger track, the inner track is the small one, and we got trouble already. Cars up into the fence in turn number 1. Yellow will quickly be called over the racetrack, and we'll have to re-rack them and restack them here with caution laps counting in Maine in the last chance race.
Seems like it was Alan Grass who was maybe involved in this one, as he will receive the EOL. Take a look at the replays. The 86 right there you see on screen, Dan DeSanto. Gets a good jump on the restart. Well, then right there's the contact with the 08 of Alan Grass, and collects a couple of other drivers involved in that one. I believe we saw Chris York around, Arthur Jordan, and Dan DeSanto all involved in this lap 1, turn 1 incident.
Caution out over the racetrack, and of course that's the way it'll settle up here. So hey Taylor, true story, first ever NASCAR endeavor I ever did on the West Coast was here at Irwindale Speedway. Do you remember the NASCAR Toyota All-Star Showdown?
Who doesn't?
Okay,
I was a teenager at the time, but still I remember this event.
So I was on the radio crew with Pat Patterson and Bill Hennessy and some other people there, and this is the first time I ever flew West Coast, okay? So I'm in Irwindale, California. I forget to set my clock back 3 hours. True story. I fall asleep at the hotel from jet lag. I wake up, I look at my watch, I start freaking out. I check out of the hotel quickly, grab the rental car, and the racetrack of the hotel is like maybe 2 miles from each other, and I'm going 75 miles an hour in a 35-mile-an-hour speed zone as we get ready to bring him back up to speed here in the B-Main, or the last chance qualifier. So the California Highway Patrol pulls me over, Taylor, and they give me a warning because they realize I'm not from around here. So he took pity on me.
Hey, nothing wrong with that. I have an officer take pity on me in order to try to get out of a ticket.
Moral of the story is, if you ever travel West Coast, set your clock back. When you get on the plane, set it back 3 hours. I did. I woke up and I thought it was like 7 o'clock at night. It was actually 4 o'clock in the afternoon. I get my rental car from the hotel, hauling mud, trying to get to the racetrack, and I'm not stopping, Taylor, until I pull into the racetrack parking lot. So the highway patrol guy followed me for like a mile.
Oh my goodness! I gotta say, I will get to experience my first California track later on in 2022. I have to say, heading over to the K1 circuit out there, so that's going to be pretty exciting, and I also get to make sure I turn my clock back. So thanks for that rule of thumb.
Yes, please do. By the way, 18 laps to go here in B-Main. In the last chance qualifier, dirt racing calls it the B-Main here. Last chance to get into the show, top 6 transfer. And I just snuck in here after doing basketball. I got to ask you, Taylor and Charles, how's the racing been so far, Taylor? Has the racing been pretty good on the outer Irwindale Speedway tonight?
So we had twins. We had in heat race number 1, full of chaos, a lot of hard racing, 3 wide for the race lead. And heat race number 2, it was a little bit more calm and more like just single file action for the most part. And here in this LCQ, it's like the return of chaos as we see 3 wide, almost 4 wide, and around goes the triple one machine off of turn 4.
There's Conley's car going around the 111. And caution will come out again here as Ed Conley got turned, coming off that 4th turn, as Taylor mentioned, battling with that 32 machine. There's Ed Conley battling again. Let's watch the replay and see how it all showed here.
Looks like contact from the 32 of Jacob Hefcoat.
Yeah. Jacob Heathcote just gave him a little punt there. Well, no harm, no foul. Everybody else will be able to continue along. This should be a quick yellow, if you will.
Yeah, they've been pretty quick about getting back to green flag racing here, as we should be getting the 2 to go. We did just get the 2 to go So we'll be going back racing here with just about 10 laps maybe left to go.
Remember, this is, as I mentioned, the race that will set up the lineup for the features that will be coming up later on tonight for the feature event. And right now, Adam Jocelyn, Brian Conover, PJ Merrill, Justin Gallowix, Dan DeSanto, Gleason Smith, along with those are your 6 that are in right now if this race was to finish. But we're just at halfway. We still got another half of this race left to go.
A lot of racing left to go indeed here, as we're going to see on the outside the number 83 of Adam Jocelyn, Brian Conover, who was just one of those drivers who almost made it into the feature event in heat race number 2.
Ready to bring the field back to the Geico restart zone, or what we would call that, the restart box out of turn 4. Pace car is in, green flag going back in the air. And we're ready to go at it again here with Jocelyn as the leader. Merrill and Conover second and third. We got one slam of the concrete there as the 97 falls back. That's Brian Conover losing spots, but he's still in the transfer as they work out of 4. We got another one riding the wall out of 4.
For the time being, as he will battle with the 86 of DeSanto, who holds the 6th spot. You also got Alan Grass right there in the mix.
Yeah, man, look at Dan DeSanto. Strong run, and we got some cars fighting and clawing for position as they send it back off into turn number 1 and 2. We're under 10 laps to go. Single digits on the scoreboard now, 9 remaining. And it's Jocelyn, the leader. Adam Jocelyn taking on all comers, leading this way to the back off the front straightaway out of 4.
Great racing action here in your LCQ for drivers trying to get their way through. You see the 24 and Brian Treadwell trying to get his way up into that transfer spot.
Across the start-finish line, going back to turn number 1. Adam Jocelyn, the man out in front. PJ Merrill in second. Justin Gallowix, Gleason Smith, Brian Conover, Dan DeSanto. That's the transfer as Alan Grass is trying to reel him in as they work off turn 4 now. Taylor Burris, it's 6 to go as the leaders go to turn 1.
Certainly is. We're going to see that action here as they work their way down the back straightaway, heading into turn 3 and 4. There you see DeSanto trying to hold on to that 6th spot. He's trying to get a little cushion, get around Brian Conover as they get the big high five from Party the Flagman. 5 laps to go.
Yeah, 5 laps remaining, a handful of laps remaining here in this event for the last chance qualifier. Adam Jocelyn still the man out in front. Merrill in the number 2 position. Justin Gallowix, Gleason Smith, and Brian Conover, Dan DeSanto. Those are your 6 drivers on the outside. Looking in now is Jacob Heathcote trying to get back to the front. 4 to go. They're coming to 3 remaining this time by the turn 4.
Here they go, heading down into turn 3 and 4. There you see the 32 machine trying to make up some headway, but it's still got a long way to go. 0.4 of a second back.
And you got Jacob Heathcote trying to reel in Dan DeSanto. All the while, it is, of course, Adam Jocelyn, the leader. Bottom of the racetrack, climbs the bank out of turn 4, crosses the line. And we've got now 3 laps to go here in now 2 remaining for the last chance race. It's Adam Jocelyn working to the back straightaway. Merrill is in tow by about 2 car lengths. Will he send it? Bump and run, possibly coming. They come for the white. 1 more lap to go. Taylor is now send it off into turn 1 for the final time.
Here they go, heading off into turns 1 and 2 down the back straightaway. The 00 PJ Merrill, who's involved in an incident early on, he will try to bump his way. Bump and run, not going to work as they come out of 4.
Not going to get him. Checkered flag goes in the air, and Adam Jocelyn's going to hold off Merrill with a last-ditch effort to take the last chance qualifier. 2nd spot will go to Merrill. 3rd will go to Justin Gallowix. 4th will go to Gleason Smith, Brian Conover, Dan DeSanto. Your top 6. Everyone else on the back will have to pack her up and head home as Alan Grass, Ed Conley, Treadwell, York, and others will fall short in making it into tonight's Maine Sim Racing Series event at Irwindale Speedway. And I understand they got about a 5-minute warm-up So with that being said, we will step away. We'll take a quick break. When we come back, we're going feature racing here at Irwindale Speedway. It is the Maine Sim Racing Series. This is iRacing on LSRTV. We are back in a moment.
Your CRN, my CRN, our CRN. We are CRN. The community radio network now and the new WCRN 87.9 FM. And still always anywhere worldwide at wearecrn.com. We are CRN.
Here comes A-Bear on the bottom, 3 wide out.
Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com. Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
Welcome back to Irwindale Speedway. This is iRacing on LSRTV and the Maine Sim Racing Series, first race of 2023. I'm Wesley Outland. Taylor Burris is alongside. Thanks for Charles Wooten, producer and director, and color guy for jumping in, helping out whenever I was a few minutes late working on our doubleheader broadcast coverage on CRN. And again, so far, Irwindale Speedway has had its share of thrills and spills, Taylor, but I think, what are we going to see for this 150 lapper?
Probably a mix of both what we saw in the heat races. A little bit of craziness, 3 wide, 4 wide action, a lot of passing opportunities, and then we'll have a little bit of a lull possibly of drivers just making laps, trying to get to a certain point, finding ways to conserve their tires, and probably a couple of caution periods somewhere in between as well.
Yeah, we saw Adam Jocelyn pick up the last chance race we just saw a moment ago here, and now everybody settles in. What do you do, obviously, you know, Taylor, if you have to go through the last chance race, how do you take advantage of that to use it for your benefit for the other drivers that got locked in on qualifying or the heat races to go to the main?
Well, one thing you can take into consideration is certain ways to maybe make adjustments on your car. I mean, yes, the heat races are 20 laps. Of course, LCQ is 25 laps, so in a sense, you can maybe kind of guesstimate how your car will handle over a 25-lap period, especially after you just got done running an additional 20 laps. So you can definitely make some adjustments, work on seeing how the cars react, and then quickly be ready to try to get ready for that long run for tonight's race.
There you go. We'll see how all of this transpires as the field is getting into place. ready to go here. And it's go time at Irwindale. Ladies and gentlemen, it's feature time for the race. Let's give you your starting lineup on the pole. Jack McKee, the number 10, after the invert. To the outside, Tyler Jordan, car number 29 here at Irwindale. Row 2, Stephen Allen, 75. Joey Israelson in the 3. Row 3, Caleb Willett on the inside. Nathan Barth outside, 37. Row 4, Jason Ricker, the 9. Tyler Conley, car 31. Round out your top 10, Nick Dyer, the 88, and Corey Bubar, the number 12.
In the 11th position, you're going to find Matthew Burgoyne with Dominic Currett in the 12th position. Max Cookson and Scott Tapley will be in row 7, 13th and 14th, with David Greenleaf and Chris Fortier, 15th and 16th. Row 9, we're going to find Adam Jocelyn and PJ Merrill. Moving on into row 10, your top 20 is rounded out by Justin Galox and Gleason Smith.
Row number 11, starting 21st, 22nd, Brian Conover and Dan DeSanto. And those are your drivers that made it in, along with Alan Grass, Ed Conley, provisional drivers. Starting 24th. Row 13, Brian Treadwell, Chris York, 26. Row 14, Arthur Jordan, Jacob Heathcote. And row 15, nobody. Oh, Cole Watts, Sean, well, he's the race director. 29 cars ready to go. For understanding, only 26 cars are starting the race. Thank you, Charles. So actually, PJ Merrill is your final starter. Watch Jordan Heathcote unable to take the green. Nice looking car. JBL Studios sound on the 10 of McKee, and I'm digging Tyler Jordan's NOS energy drink Tide colors. Never thought you'd mix energy drink with Tide cleaning your clothes. He did it.
It certainly is. And here, as we work our way around, I think we're going to get one more caution one more pace lap before we turn them loose here. As the field works our way out at turn number 4, I think somebody in race control saw how the field was not organized good enough, and we're going to go back to race, or at least go one more lap under caution.
So, field is set. The JBL Stereos, number 10, McKee and Jordan, ready to bring on the green flag. Israelson and Allison, Conley, your top 5. Irwindale Speedway, should be an exciting race. Strap in, hold on, we're green for the first feature of the Maine Sim Racing Series of 2023. McKee to the bottom of the racetrack. Jordan will power up on the top side. And the field of the virtual big dogs begin to growl around Irwindale on lap number 1. Ricker in trouble there, Taylor.
Yeah, we're seeing Tyler Jordan, who's been one of the top drivers all race long in the heat races, holding on to the race lead right now. He had a stellar run, a struggle off of turn 4. One car around, that's Stephen Allen in the 75. We're going to still keep it green. Now caution is out. There's a couple more cars involved.
Caution out quickly. Here's your replay. Jordan's going to be scored the leader. Let's see what happened now with Corey Bubar and some other cars here. Taylor, you saw it break loose with the 75. Going around. Look at Bubar just missing him. The 75 car there.
Yeah, it was a close call indeed. And then I think he tried to loop it around, but unfortunately he will be towards the tail end of the field in 26. As we now catch him up there, he sees front nose damage, quite a bit of it. He will continue on, but you got to worry about that radiator right there as well. Engine temp's going to increase significantly.
So Tyler Jordan behind the toe of the pace car. Man, I'm digging that car. Look at that beautiful wrap job there, Taylor. That's awesome.
It is. Yeah, we were talking about it during the heat races, as it was definitely a nice throwback paint scheme. A lot of different paint styles. We're seeing a lot of great looking cars out there on the track here tonight.
Getting ready for the field to possibly get the one-to-go indication is Israelson, McKee, Conley, Bubar, Current, all these cars in the top 5. This race will have caution laps count. There will be 2 attempts at a restart, and it is 125 laps.
Six laps already in the book here as Tyler Jordan will work his way back up to the race lead here. And he had pretty much, well, we saw in his heat race, just pretty much run that outside lane, no pressure whatsoever, did a great job, and we're just going to probably see him do the same thing here tonight. For Jack McKee, he was a bottom feeder. He ran right against that yellow line, and in fact went below that white line in turn 3 and 14, right up against the grass. So different lines are going to come into play here tonight, I have to say.
Yeah, no doubt about it, man. What a phenomenal job. But we're seeing here in the early going, it's still a lot of racing left to go. Single car spin after Allen spun around. Field will have the pace car drop onto the pit lane in turn number 3, exiting off the back straightaway. It's all clear selling for Jordan to fire. He'll pull the trigger on the outside, and the thundering virtual herd send him off into turn number 1 back on the green.
Already you see everyone getting themselves lined up, single file for your top 5 as they work their way down into turn 3 and 4. Here comes Jack McKee and Max Cookson up through the field. Cookson already inside the top 6.
Coming off the corner out of turn 4. Another lap on the board, and we got another caution. Jocelyn, I believe, might have been caught up in it. Jocelyn, maybe. And the 60 car, also a Caleb Willett. Yellow will fly here. We'll find out what happened. There's Caleb Willett in the 60. We saw him spun as the camera angle was coming back, and there's a look at it. Oh my, they crashed in front of him. He got a punt in the pants from York. Allen gave him a little punt as well. Penny for your thoughts, Chief. And then the other cars in front of them spun. I want to say it was Jocelyn in the 84. We'll have to check this again. The last chance qualifier, 83, Adam Jocelyn, I believe, was one of the cars involved in the accident there, Taylor Burris.
He certainly looked like to be. Indeed, we're going to get a look at that here at the replay as he works his way down over towards turn number 1. Jocelyn up towards the front of the field. No, he gets actually collected in it.
He's got on the binders.
Got on the binders and avoided it.
Yeah, my apologies. I did see him drop down quickly on the scoring pylon, but obviously whenever you slam on the brakes and drop to the bottom of the racetrack to avoid everybody, that's going to happen to you. So a multi-car accident again coming off of that second turn, first turn actually, putting us under the yellow flag. We are 11 of 125 laps into this race for the Maine Sim Racing Series here tonight at Irwindale Speedway. Now, I mentioned earlier, and Taylor, we can talk about it. There is an innie and an outie. There's an inner track and an outer track. The outer track is the big track, the half mile that they're racing on right now here at Irwindale. But there's also a small quarter mile that is inside the infield where legend cars and bandoleros and mini cup cars and quarter midgets race on at Irwindale Speedway as well.
Not only that, but there's also a combination where you both run the inner and the outer track here at Irwindale, at least on the iRacing service, and then, of course, the figure 8 configuration.
Yeah, I mean, there's actually a part of the racetrack, and I know we're running on the big part of the racetrack, but there's actually a place where you, run on the inner part of the racetrack on the back stretch, and then you come back on the outer part of the racetrack on the front stretch, if I remember. It's kind of like the way Nashville is.
Kind of is, and it's kind of funny how it is, and it's kind of exciting to watch the racing as we're about to go back green flag here.
Certainly are. Green flag back in the air. They come back through the virtual gearboxes, and Taylor Jordan will send it off into turn number 1 and 2. Current and Israelson right there alongside each other. Cookson will follow. Max Cookson, does he go high? He does go to the top shelf. He'll play wingman with Current up on the outside lane. Israelson hung on the bottom. They're going to go 3 wide. He thought about it, going to 1.
He thought about it indeed here, and here comes to the outside, Max Cookson. He will battle for that top spot here as he tries to catch up to Tyler Jordan. Meanwhile, the 3 of Joey Israelson will try to work his way down to the bottom, try to slide up in front of Cookson. Not going to work.
That's exactly right. Is right now it's Tyler Jordan. There's Israelson's car falling back down to fourth. Tyler Conley is in his crosshairs as well. There's Stephen Allen, the white 75 off the pace. Down on the bottom of the apron as the leaders roar. Back to turn number one as we check out our aerial coverage. It's brought to you by LSRTV. This is iRacing on LSRTV in Irwindale.
Exciting here as we see Cookson now to the bottom of the racetrack, to the inside of Dominic Turek. He tries to get right in front, can't get, gets to the door, now to the quarter panel, sends it down on the bottom of the racetrack through 1 and 2, gets a nose advantage, but can't complete the pass. Finally gets the power down on the back straightaway.
Solid run now. Let's look at this gaggle of traffic. That's the top four fighting for the lead. Jordan, Cookson, Current, Israelson. Sounds like a law firm. Down to the bottom as now Israelson makes a move on Current. Cookson now moves to the P2 spot, up 11 positions. And look out, the NOS Tide Rider, Jordan, is about to be swallowed up like Cookson. Here comes the 39, back to 1. We're 20 laps. See you next time. Bye.
How about this here? Now we see Joey and Dominic battling for that third step here as they work their way back into turn 3 and 4. Now Cookson sends it down to the bottom of the racetrack, right against the green, and then works his way back up, almost makes contact with Tyler Jordan.
Yeah, watching all this transpire as now Jordan goes up the hill. Here comes Cookson back on the bottom. Current now doesn't know whether to go left or right, inside or outside. Israelson now drops to the bottom as Cookson below the apron. He climbs back up on the racetrack room and he gets into the lead as they go into turn number 1. New leader Cookson, but Jordan's not done.
Jordan is certainly not done. Can't clear him, though, out of turn number 2. He will drop back to second place as they head their way down to turn 3 and 4. Nose to tail, and Dominic Current tries to send it. Couldn't make it work. Maine dropped back to 4th.
Well, he tried so hard again, as you just mentioned, to send it and just fell up short as they worked their way back around the corner again. All the while, these race battles continue, and it is still the driver of Max Cookson now, the man up in front. Cookson, Jordan, Israelson waiting patiently, ready to pounce on them too. You just saw a glimpse of his front quarter panel of his car. Closing in, going back to turn 3 and 4, and things have kind of settled down, but it's been intense as we approach 100 laps to go here now, Taylor.
Here we go, exciting racing here. Single file for your top 4 as we pick up the battle for 5th position between Tyler Conley and Nick Dyer. These two having a spirited battle as Conley hits the wall. Dead trouble for the 88 and a big hit into the barrier.
That's the pole car, McKee. The 88 of Nick Dyer is also involved in it. Some more cars caught up in the calamity. That was the 10 of Jack McKee. The JBL Stereos number 10 coming at you at full song into the retaining wall. The pole car. Wow. We'll see a replay on this one. Coming into your virtual living room. Watch this. Contact with Dyer. There went McKee. Up and over. Gleason Smith. Stephen Allen got caught up in it. David Greenleaf was getting damaged but kept on going. Conover as well. Wow. Wow, Taylor. That could have turned out a lot worse than it did. But serious worse for where is Jack McKee in the 10 car.
Yeah, it's a lot of chaos happening right here as we see the action as we're under caution once again. And I got to say, that was a tough hit right there.
And hands down, it certainly was as we go under the yellow flag. As cleanup ongoing, Max Cookson is the man that is out in front right now as we speak. The Maine Sim Racing Series here tonight. Hey, by the way, check out Finish Line on all available podcast and replay outlets as well as on LSRTV, Facebook, and YouTube. Had some great interviews today. Taylor Burris, obviously ARCA testing at Daytona for the ARCA Menard Series in preparation for their 75th ARCA racing event at the World Center of Racing at Speed Weeks. And we had a lot of drivers on, including Landon Pimbleton, Landon Huffman, Kayla Searles, Willie Mullins, Ronnie Maglite, and more. All those archives are available. And coming up on Sunday, the Press Box Motorsports podcast show, and that will be talking about all sorts of racing news, including the Cars Tour being bought by Dale Jr., Kevin Harvick, who possibly, by the way, Taylor, might be announcing his retirement from NASCAR tomorrow morning. And also Justin Marks from Team Trackhouse and Jeff Burton, former racer and now NBC broadcaster on NBC. Wow.
A lot of big news happening.
What do you think of that?
I mean, you got a lot of big news happening in the world of motorsports over this past. Like you said, the Cars Tour is a big news, I have to say. How about the big news with Andretti Autosports and Cadillac trying to get a Formula One team going in a few years' time? And then, of course, you got the Dakar Rally going on with some excitement. Chili Bowl happening this weekend. And of course, with the ARCA Series, back to that, Frankie Moonsie making his ARCA debut this year.
And by the way, what about Richard Petty? GMS Racing is now being brought out by another name as they come back for the restart. And for the first time in, 50 years, Petty will not be a name in the motorsports era as far as on the title, but he will still have involvement in the sport.
He still certainly will. It's going to be the Legacy Motor Club, which I think that's the first time we've ever heard of a racing team in NASCAR be called that.
The Legacy Motor Club as they get ready for the restart. And by the way, that's Petty GMS Racing, and we heard about their announcement back during the wintertime where Jimmy Johnson got involved in the ownership of the company, and now the Royalty Motor Club is now the new title name, along with Petty GMS and more. So we're back for the restart here. Under 100 laps to go. He's Taylor Burris. I'm Wesley Outland. Charles Wooten is the man. And he's running the boards now. And we're back to green. This has been a fairly good race. And now we got a battle for second and a battle for third and fourth. And action everywhere now as they send it off into turn number one. I just love Irwindale Speedway. Been there in real life, Taylor. And I think iRacing has always provided great racing on this track, too.
It certainly has a lot of great racing action throughout the years here. I mean, I've had a couple of chances to win here in the modified side, which is my preferred car to drive on short track scene in iRacing. But of course, you have a lot of great super late model racing action here at Irwindale on the iRacing platform.
And we're not done yet. We haven't even got to halfway just yet as well. Remember, lap 63 will be lap 125's halfway distance of this event. Max Cook's in the leader. Tyler Jordan in second, Dominic Kerr in third, Joey Israelson, Corey Bubar up in the top 5, followed by Conley, Ricker, Merrill, Barth, and Greenleaf in the top 10. And they all kind of ride now for a little bit. And let's be honest, we're 37 laps in next time by, working lap 36 of the race. And Taylor, for the most part, it's been interesting. Couple of caution flags, but there's been good green flag runs, and the racing's been intense also.
You just jinxed us.
Nick Dyer goes around in 88, Logitech colors. I'm bad at doing that, ain't I, Charles? The Sun Drop. Is that the Sun Drop or the Bass Pro Shops car? I think it's the Bass Pro car, ain't it?
It's both of them,
Nick
I
Dyer.
believe.
No, it's Bass Pro Shop. It's Logitech Bass Pro Shop Chevrolet. Look at that. Up, going around. Caution out. It looked like it would be a Sun Drop car, wouldn't it, with the way the car colors are? But it's Bass Pro Shops.
It certainly is. But hey, I mean, it's a great car. Look, I mean, it's a throwback to what we would see both Dale Earnhardt Jr. and Josh Berry run in the Cars Tour later on this year.
That's exactly right. That's exactly right. And I will tell you, I know that there's a little birdie that's told me that Dale Jr. plans on driving a throwback car for his father, like he always does, or his career. And one of those cars might be the Sun Drop or Mom and Pop's car to come. You never know. When will he race next? You never know.
Well, he did confirm this year he's running the Xfinity Series at Bristol in 2023.
There you go. On dirt?
Not the dirt one. He's going to run the asphalt one. That's for the Xfinity car.
Come on, Dale. I'm gonna message him and be like, what the heck? Come on, man.
Just do it once.
Dale Jr. on dirt. Just one time on dirt, right? Yeah. Oh, well. We'll get ready for the restart here as Max Cook's it up 12 spots as the leader. Pole car Tyler Jordan is falling back to the number. Well, correction, actually, Jack McKee was the pole car. He was on the outside pole. Tyler Jordan was. So he sits in the number 2 spot. Dominic Curran up 9 spots in third. Joey Carl Israelson is right where he started in fourth in his position. Tyler Conley up 3 spots in fifth. Corey Bubar up 4 spots in sixth. Jason Ricker, where he started seventh, he's in seventh, up 10 spots. PJ Merrill. And then, of course, Jason Ricker. Chris Fortier up 7 spots. Nathan Barth also in the top 10. We're ready to go. Jason, bring us back to green here, buddy. Taylor.
Here we go. Green flag is out. We're back racing as Max Cookson already checks out on the field. He's got Tyler Jordan to his inside now as he go back up to the racetrack. Battle for third between Dominic Curran and Joey Israelson as they go side by side down into turn 3.
Gotta love that sound, that roar. The roar of those cars going off into the corner, the virtual thundering herd here at Irwindale. With Cookson flying off into the corner into 3. He's the man out in front. Here comes now a move by Conley, diving down to the bottom, trying to make a run on Curran. Israelson, Curran under attack. All this going on now as they work it again, turn number 2.
Already seeing some great action, but Max Cookson, he has checked out on the field right now. 0.6 of a second and growing over Tyler Jordan as they try to work their way through across the start-finish line, heading back into 1. Meanwhile, it's a gaggle of cars as we pick up the 31 of Tyler Connolly, trying to work his bottom inside.
All of that transpiring now as Max Cookson is still the driver that is out in front with a strong run for the driver of car number 39, Tyler Jordan. Aerial coverage presented by LSRTV. About 20 laps or less to halfway. Cookson, Jordan, Curran, Israelson, Bubar, top 5. There you see him. Ricker starting to make a climb. Also getting around Barth, getting around Conley, coming after Merrill. All this going on as Conley's on the bottom as they work their way again out of turn number 2 to the back straightaway.
You certainly are seeing some action here as here comes a couple of drivers trying to work right against that white line and going below with that yellow line even as they try to propel themselves down the front straightaway. Connolly can't seem to get that bottom lane working for him compared to a lot of the drivers who are running right up against the wall here at Irwindale in turn 1 and 2.
Look at Conover on the outside, the 97. Got Jocelyn with him. That's the B Maine last chance qualifier winner, by the way. On the inside, Matthew Burgoyne. And Burgoyne on the bottom. Trying to close in down to the inside on Conover's car. They drift up in front of each other, side by side. Working now, 75 laps to go. Next time by when they come to the line here in this next round for the Maine Sim Racing Series at Irwindale.
Great racing here as everyone's now trying to get themselves in a bit of a rhythm out at turn number 4, single file pretty much all the way till about we pick up the 10th position between Connolly and Matthew Burgoyne as Burgoyne's trying to break into the top 10 for the first time tonight.
All of this is going on as the leaders working their way back off in the corner. It is still cooking. Oh, we got trouble on the cars up against the fence out of turn number 4, and the yellow will come out. 13 is involved, pulling away from the accident. That is going to be Scott Tapley. It might have been Jocelyn caught up in it also. I jinxed him again. Adam Jocelyn, who was in, climbing in the top 10, the last chance qualifier winner. And Taylor, I think he just got caught up in an accident.
He certainly was. Ooh, there you see.
Willett got into him. And then Tapley, the 24 Treadwell up the wall. We saw him smoking earlier, the 24 car. Brian Treadwell. We're under caution again.
Tough break already, but at least we have a little bit of a longer run right here tonight as we're about a little bit.
So there is Max Cookson, the splash and go, number 39 entry out in front, looking good, strong ride for his Chevrolet. And he's coming to the pit lane. Oh my goodness, here comes a whole bunch of cars under the pit lane. They get to do one stop, right? The Ford's in. The Ford of Cookson is in.
Big time opportunity for a lot of drivers here, as Corey Bubar will be your new race leader once that is sorted out. Maybe not. Let me double check. It might be Dominic Currit who will take over the race lead actually in the 82.
So we'll be ready to settle them back up for this restart here. And all the while, this race continues on. So I'm understanding, Taylor, they're not allowed to have a fast repair, but obviously they can take a tire. Can they take tires, add fuel? They can do that?
They can take tires, and I believe, I don't think they can add fuel for the most part. But normally, a super late model couldn't make the lane distance unless they cut the fuel at a certain limit.
Well, all the while, Max Cookson in his pit stop just gave up 11 spots, or 10 spots. No, I am right, 11 spots. He's fell back to 12. Dominique Currit is back as the leader of the 82. Tyler Jordan still in second where he started second. Joey Israelson up 1 spot now to third. Up 7 spots is Matthew Burgoyne to fourth. Up 3 spots, Tyler Conley in fifth. Then it's Conover up 15. Justin Gallowix up 12 to 6th and 7th. Up 15, Alan Grass in 8th. Chris York up 17 for 9th. And there is also Ed Conley in your top 10, along with Chris York. There you go. Ready to settle it here, closing in on halfway. In the first half of the Maine Sim Racing Series at Irwindale, cars come up to speed. Keep an eye on that 39. Max Cookson, and we're back at, oh, we got big trouble. Car flying through the air. Cookson's involved. They all pile in. Yellow is out. Who was airborne? Was it the 08 up in the air there, Taylor? I want to say it might have been the 08 to Alan Grass.
It might have been. We'll have to get a better look here on the replay. I don't see him out on there. He is. He is on the track. But I don't think he ended up in the air.
Somebody got airborne. That's all I know.
Oh,
yeah.
The
Oh, yeah, he did. Yes, it was. Alan Grass into York, into Wicker, into other cars. And that's exactly what just happened there in the 08 Chevrolet. Boy, did I call that perfectly, Taylor. I just saw a glimpse of the number. I saw a glimpse of the number flying through the air, and I was like, I think that's Grass.
He was flying through the air, indeed, joining the space program here for LSRTV.
Yes. Definitely got the height award for sure. Hey, Taylor, when you're heading down to Florida, buddy, did you say you're going to St. Petersburg or Sebring?
I'm actually in Miami for the season opener for the winter tour, and then come back to Texas for a little. Yep, Homestead, Miami, the AMR Kartplex, which is just right outside of Homestead, Miami Speedway. Then come back to Texas for a couple days, then fly back down to Florida for the season opener of the Rock USA Winter Tour over in St. Petersburg, right out in Tropicana Field.
There you go, Tropicana Field. That'll be fun. Baseball field turned into a racetrack, right?
Right out there in the parking lot. That's one of the best thing is for kart racers, as we have a great way to kick off our month of January. That's pretty much all the action for me in the real world, but still have a lot of great actions happening with you guys here at LSRTV, and also we have some stuff going on the other companies that I work with. So great racing.
Yeah, man, you're truly Taylor, you're truly an amazing find, and I was telling the people that a lot of people might not know, but I've jumped on board as a part operations person for LSRTV, helping out with other people involved in the company with Charles and Jeff. And one of the things that I've said is I speak very highly of you because no doubt about it, you definitely have got the talent, and you're experienced, and it shows, and you're a great find at the end of the year. I told Charles it's like a gift when we got back in December.
Well, hey, I was an early Christmas present for you there in December. How about that?
That's it. That's it. The lights are off for the pace car. You see the pace car dropping out of the pit lane. Let's rest our voices. Taylor and I, we're halfway home. Oh, no statics. Oh, well, you still like the sound of the cars. Here comes the big dogs roaring back to the restart zone here at Irwindale. And there you see Dominique Currett jumping back out as we're halfway home in the second half of this race. And just like that, we're back under caution. Green caution.
Yeah, certainly seems to be the rhythm that we're going through right now. Alan Grass nearly having to go through a sideways drift. There is drifting competitions with Formula. Yeah, but he was drifting. I give that drift about a 7, but might need a different car maybe to do that in compared to Formula Drift cars.
Yeah, you're exactly right, though, Taylor. They actually do drifting competitions at Irwindale.
Oh, that's where they hold their championship finale for Formula Drift. There he goes.
Oh, yeah. Look at that. Oh, yeah. Oh, wow.
Doesn't get to keep going like he should have, like we see some of the big drifting competitions here, but he is able to keep it straight and back up and continues on his way.
So, Taylor, do these big go-kart events at, like, where you're going to Homestead in Texas and whatnot, Tropicana Field, do they broadcast them? Do you do broadcasting, or do you do, officiating or turn announcing? What do you do?
So, for those events, I will be doing production work. So, I'll be working behind the scenes, but you will see the voice of Supercarts USA, Rob Howden, leading the field along with one of my bosses over at Kart Chaser, Xander Clements, as you can catch all the action on Kart Chaser's YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter accounts, where we'll be broadcasting all the events live and for free throughout the entire weekend. Our Supercarts USA made an amazing partnership with us to help give us to where we can have everybody watch the events instead of subscription-based accounts. So looking forward to seeing all the action here at Supercarts. A lot of great drivers coming into play. Of course, back in November, we had our, Supercart Super Nationals over in Las Vegas, where we had Will Power, a couple of former ex-Formula One drivers, and some other names in the karting industry. But a lot of people are looking forward to seeing the shifter carts take to the track once again. X30 Masters, your KA Masters and Juniors, really going to be some of the star classes, KA Seniors as well, as we'll see a lot of great fields, over 600 entries, if I remember, in multiple different classes.
Wow, that's awesome, man. And I tell people this all the time. It's amazing that I've always said this. The karting industry is booming. I don't think it's ever stopped, for sure. I mean, karting is, I've always told promoters, if you want to make money in the business, promote kart racing and promote drag racing, and you're guaranteed to put money in your pocket.
You certainly are. A lot of things are really exciting to see how this will happen here. And, of course, you know, for the first 3 months, we're going to be in the Florida because it's the warmest right now. But we have kart racing happening all across the country through 2023. I almost said 2022, but, hey, we're in a new year. But as we get ready to take the green flag, we'll talk more about that next time.
And Dominique Curran quickly on the jump on everyone else. Got around Tyler Jordan to the green flag back in the air as we were approaching lap number 70 next time by. And it is coming down to the final laps, second half of this race, what I meant to say. It's all the while, here they come, working off the corner, 55 laps to go. Curran, Jordan, Burgoyne, Israelson, Conley, your top 5. Charles, you're taking Irwindale, man. Pretty good race so far. Hey, we might need to do a kart racing segment on the Press Box Motorsports podcast one day.
Yeah, we can definitely do that. But that's, I actually just had you bring me back to update Taylor's question earlier. I hadn't been keeping a close eye on chat, but I just checked chat to let everyone know, mainly myself and Taylor, who he was asking about it, that Art and Tyler, Jordan are indeed father and son.
That's good to know.
So Tyler and Jordan Taylor, or Jordan, or they're both father and son. Is that what you're saying?
So Tyler Jordan, who's in 3rd, and Arthur Jordan, who's in 25th right now, are
father and son. Okay, all right, thank you. All right, thank you for clarifying that. And by the way, we're under yellow flag again for the 3rd time in the race involving the 08 consecutively of Alan Grass. Alan Grass hit the crossover return barrier there in turn 1, and since then he has had a problem on the track. Then he just spun out again. Here's your replay of what happened to the 08 Chevrolet of Alan Grass, and it's not tore up from the floor up yet there, Taylor. You would think it would be.
I'm surprised that it
Here's your look at it.
Right there, right there I can understand why there would be a caution.
He didn't even. He slammed the Armco barrier at the crossover gate and crashed, flipped through the air. Then he done a drifting spin. Now he goes in a spin on the front straightaway. All right, now there's a 3-spin rule in tracks across America. There should be a penalty here. And by the way, money stop. I think cars are pitting. Israelson's in. Willett is in. Currid's in. Conover is in. Matthew Burgoyne is going to be the new leader here, Taylor, it looks like, unofficially.
He certainly did. He did pit a couple of times already. Last time he came down pit road was about 35 laps ago. So he doesn't have the freshest tires out there currently. That would have to go to Nathan Barth in 4th position. But definitely going to be one to keep an eye on as well to see how far he can try to stretch those tires to the end. And, of course, Tyler Jordan, Tyler Connolly, yet to pit.
50 laps to go. Hey, by the way, Taylor, I got to bring you back in here, bud. What do you think about the announcement of Kevin Harvick tomorrow morning? It sounds like he's going to be retiring from NASCAR at the end of next year.
You know, when I heard that announcement, you know, we've been seeing a lot of drivers making a big retirement announcements for the past couple of years. It's basically, I hate to say it, the end of an era. You know, if you think about it, we are, you know, Jeff Gordon retiring, Dale Earnhardt Jr. retiring, Kurt Busch now retiring this past season. Also, you have Jimmy Johnson, who retired from it, now coming back, of course, but only a limited schedule. And now Kevin Harvick, and then throw in Clint Boyer. I mean, you're basically
Eric
welcoming now
Almirola retiring next year.
Yeah, so it's now the era of new faces, pretty much.
That's right.
That we're going to be seeing come 2024.
Yeah, to me, the perfect movie that describes what's happening here is the movie Cars. And if you remember Cars 3, out with the old, in with the new, that's basically what is transpiring here. As we get ready to go back to the restart, they're already spinning, crashing. York is ground. York is spun to the bottom of the racetrack as they came to the restart. And they don't call yellow. We stay green. So somehow Ricker and York and all of them are able to keep going straight. We stay under the green flag, but I thought we were going to have another yellow flag.
I thought so too here, but as we see the battle up towards this battle here for the 9 and 12 machine, this is the battle for P6 between Jason Ricker and Corey Bubar, who are going to try to work their way out of turn number 4. Bubar working hard on the outside lane. Ricker trying to make that inside lane work as Cookson is trying to fight his way back into the top 5.
Working lap number 80 this time by Ricker down to the inside of the racetrack as the field works their way back around the corner. Got Tyler Conley in the mix. As all the while, Bubar battles back on the outside of Conley's car. Drifting in front of them is also Max Cookson. Here comes the 39 after his pit stop. He is moved to 4th. He's coming in a hurry. Tie straight away.
He certainly is. Those fresh tires, you feel 10 foot tall and bulletproof. We're going to see some of those drivers trying to work their way up through the field here as quickly as possible, but they're running out of time as we pick up Max Cookson. Now Tyler Connolly in that 31.
Working their way back around the corner again is now Burgoyne is still the leader. Slam off the wall, the little concrete virtual dust by the Cookson's car. As they go off into 1 and 2, it's going to be now Conley there on the bottom. Battling Bubar. It's Bubar now in the top 10. He's in 7th. Conley trying to get around him, and they're also trying to now get around Jason Ricker's car. Jocelyn now starting to climb back into the top 10. The last chance qualifier as they all go back into 1 and 2.
3 wide here, right here, as we see the 82 of Tuck and also Nick Dyer, also the 13 and the 25, really trying to hold on for dear life as they come off the 4.
All these drivers, crew members for the most part from up in Maine. Representing Oxford Plains and Beach Ridge and more. And all the while, these drivers enjoying the night here at Irwindale. Matthew Burgoyne, Jordan, Barth, Cookson, Merrill, the top 5. They've not raced since, whoa, I heard a crash. I heard some crunching and munching. And still they keep it green, whatever it was. We're coming upon lap number 90 now, this time by, and a few more laps here to Taylor.
We certainly are. I think one of the cars just might have scraped the wall off one of the corners here. We're still going to be good. Everyone trying to now dial it back just a little bit, realizing we still have quite a bit of racing left to go. Tyler Jordan really struggling right now as he's trying to hold on to second place as we pick up the 83 machine of Adam Jocelyn battling with Joey Israelson for that 8th spot.
Don't count out also Caleb Willett trying to get back in that battle also as this all takes place. There's Tyler Jordan, the NOS Energy Drink tied 29. Oh, we got a spinner going across the racetrack straight away. Caution out. That's the number, is that Barth? I want to say it's Barth in 37. Nathan Barth went around in the 37 car. Caution out as we approach lap 90. Wow. Here's your replay. Yeah, Nathan Barth, let's watch that here. Understanding we're having some weather-related issues at the production truck in Texas, hurting our connection feed. We'll do our diligent best to stay on the air with you. As here's a look at the replay of what happened. Nathan Barth. What do you think, Taylor? Looking at it, just ran out of room here, fighting Cookson, maybe a little aggressive.
Probably just a little aggressive on the throttle on corner exit. Car just got out from underneath him, couldn't hold on to it. No contact by the looks of it, so he's still going to be able to keep it going, but the problem is, does he have the tires to make it work?
Yeah, I think that's the big question here. We're having some technical issues. We're trying to do our best to keep it with you here as now Tyler Jordan has given up the lead and he pits for the first time in this race. Tyler Jordan is the only car coming out of the lane. I don't know, Taylor, if this might have been a good move or not for him to do. He's going to have to be in max speed and fly through the field. What are you thinking, Taylor?
It should work out for him. He may not get the win, but he will be up in for a top 5 contention, I have to say.
Well, maybe he's not looking for the win. Maybe, like you said, he's looking to be on the podium or a top 5 finish. Matt, now the leader as the lights are off of the pace car. Pace car has already retired back to the pit lane. Burgoyne, Cookson, Merrill, Ricker, Bubar. Top 5. Here come the big dogs, and they're growling and snarling off of turn 4. Back at the virtual Irwindale Speedway. Green flag back out for the Maine Sim Racing Series 3 wide. Bubar into Jocelyn. Jocelyn's in the concrete. He got into Greenleaf. Greenleaf, the cars go spinning. No caution yet. No caution yet. We stay green. Wow.
I think due to the fact that those cars were out of the racing line here, they keep it clean and green here as we watch the field trying to work their way up. Gotta keep an eye on the driver of Tyler Jordan. He's 15th now and making some really quick time to work his way up.
The Wilson Racing car about 8th the concrete a moment ago and about stacked the field behind them. And now Caleb Willett's running him down. We watch now the 29 of Nick Jordan. Tyler Jordan, I'm sorry, he's got to go. He's in 15th. He's trying to get by Gallowix and Allen. A couple of more spots. Fighting furiously to get to the front. Closing in on under 30 laps to go here at Irwindale.
30 laps to go. Drivers trying to jockey for position. How about Tyler Jordan making it 3 wide off turn 4? He's going to push the 97 of Conover up the track a little bit to try to make room for him as he heads off into one contact.
Oh, no!
Around he'll go. He saves it, but he will lose some spots after that.
Yeah, he got into Conover. Saved by the caution flag, but you got to wonder how much damage is on the car in now the 14th position. He got into the 97 of Brian Conover. The storm was brewing. You knew it was going to happen there, Taylor. And we're under yellow flag as we put triple digits on the scoreboard in 2 more laps.
A lot of things happen. A lot of chaos happening here tonight as we have still 23 cars on the lead lap. Only 20 and 26 out. Well, 26 out there running around the circuit. So it could be anybody's guess who could come out on top of it. For Burgoyne, he's really happy about these cautions because it gives him a chance to control the start and really get a little bit of breathing room to work his way ahead of Matt Cookson and PJ Merrill.
Let's take a look at the way things shake out now. Is obviously now Jordan was rallying to get back to the front, no doubt about it. Got into the 97 of Brian Conover. And now those drivers, Conover went to the back. Jordan does not lose momentum. He stays on track. He stays in the 13th position. We're watching to see what he does. And all the while, guess what, Taylor? Max Cookson back up to second. He's got to go around Burgoyne to get around him. It's one thing to pass somebody. It's another thing to catch them. We got 25 to go here.
It certainly is here. We're going to see how fast these drivers can work their way up to the field before the end of the race. And, of course, if they can get up to the race lead or podium position here tonight, as they're going to be going back racing here in about a lap or so, double them up and restart them again.
Ready for the field to come back to the line, as it's going to be again Tyler Jordan. He is currently in 13th. That's the high climber we're going to watch. That's why we got our sights on him. Justin Galloway's in his sights. So is DeSanto. So is Allen. Gleason Smith, the orange 5C country concrete entry or county concrete entry. And we're ready for the green flag. Triple digits are on the scoreboard. We're under 25 remaining. Here at Irwindale with Burgoyne and Cookson. Restart. Burgoyne gone. Cookson's going to run him down into turn 1.
How about this action here as they work their way down the back straightaway? Cookson trying to find his way around Burgoyne, but he's running out of options here. 4 wide towards the back half of the field. 5 wide.
Whoa, 5 wide, 4 wide, 5 wide, and that's exactly what I was just thinking there. And we got a caution. Yellow is out. I wonder if the cars that try to go 5 wide wrecked each other. There you see
it was
the problem on the 86 machine. I think that's what happened. Is that Dan DeSanto also?
It was Dan DeSanto, Tyler Jordan, I believe also one other car. It was David Greenleaf. Let's take a look here at the replay.
Let's take a look at it again here. Wow. Understanding it might have started with a 29, like 29 again might have of been Jordan. Oh. Yeah, being a little aggressive here. 4 wide, look at that. Oh, wow. And Jordan this time couldn't make it out. And McKee flips for the second time in the race. And Dan DeSanto also got airborne. I don't know here, Taylor. I think that might be the end of the drive for the number 29 of Tyler Jordan. I just think he's too far back now.
I have to agree with you as well. I think it might be too little too late here for him, as given the fact, I mean, some damage also to him, and it looks like one driver has been disqualified. Joey Israelson taken out.
Wow. So whatever Joey Israelson did, he's been parked. His race is done, which is disappointing, by the way, Taylor, because he was up in the top 5 most of the race in the beginning.
He certainly wasn't. He had a good shot of it running inside the top 5 for most of the race until that bitter end, pretty much.
So, Burgoyne, Cookson, Merrill, Bubar, Jocelyn, your top 5. Ricker, Willett, 48. Smith and Allen, even involved in the first caution, back to the top 10. And we settle in on under 20 laps to go for a shootout. It's 18 remaining, 17 when they come to the line. Lights off for the pace car here this lap, and we should be ready to go back to green next time around.
going to be exciting how this plays out here as we're about to double them up and turn them loose here for under 20 laps.
Well, ready to see how this all goes on here as the field to make their way back to the restart zone. Green flag is back out. And off into turn number 1 and 2. Hold it together. It's Burgoyne, Cookson, Merrill, Jocelyn will at top 5 as I mentioned. And it is now a time to go for the run for the money as Bubar hugging the bottom of the racetrack, trying to make a run now on Willette's car. Meanwhile, we got cars wrecking in turn 3. Caution is out again. 15 to go and another wreck in the corner.
Settle down, boys. A lot of races still to go. Even though 15 laps may seem like not a lot, it's still quite a bit for these drivers here, given the fact as we take a look at the replay.
Yep, well, that's Dan DeSanto again into Conley, into the 25 as well. And we go back under the yellow flag. That's, of course, Justin Gallowitz, the 24 of Brian Treadwell, all around there. Not done yet. Not done crashing either.
Certainly not, indeed. A lot of things still happening here as we progress further.
A look at the replay, and again, there you see what took place. 13 laps to go, and again, we'll settle in and do it again. Cookson, Burgoyne, Merrill, Jocelyn, Bubar, and we mentioned Bubar started to make a climb on the bottom, and I don't. Taylor, is the bottom the way to go? Do you think? Do you think if you can get a run on the inside out of turn 3 that you could be able to possibly clear the cars, but then you got to quickly get on the binders? Because if you don't, you're going to run right into them going into the first turn up to the wall.
You have a little bit. It can only really work on the starts of these races here to be able to make that pass work. Pretty much the outside is king here at Irwindale for the most part. We've seen some drivers work the inside lane pretty well. Tyler Jordan was one of them. Jack McKee was another one. So it's all about how well your car is set up to run the bottom of the racetrack.
Well, we'll see how it all transpires here because it is not done yet. And by the way, we're now closing in on 10 laps remaining. Whenever the field comes back around, they're going to stay under caution. It looks like another lap, 11 to go. 10 remaining when the lights go off for the pace car when they come back to green. If they get the one to go this time, I think they did. Pace car is picking up speed. Well, let's see what happens. I think the fireworks are just getting started. 115 laps in, 125 the distance, 10 remaining at Irwindale. We're back to green.
Drivers jockeying for position 3 wide as they come out of turn number 2. Now back to 2 wide here, a little further back around the 5th spot as they try to get themselves set up. Coming now under 10 laps to go off 4. Cookson still holds on to the lead.
9 remaining. Single digits now on the scoreboard on the pylon. And now it's time to go as Cookson has cleared back around Burgoyne. New leader, Cookson again for the second time. Look at him slicing and dicing through the middle of the pack. They're in the snake's patch. And it's now 8 to go. There's Jocelyn. What a drive from Adam Jocelyn, involved in an accident several times, Taylor Burris. The last chance qualifier up to 4th now.
And he's not done. He's going to keep on fighting here as he tries to work his way down. We're picking up Corey Bubar in the 12 machine as well, trying to see if he can break into the top 5.
Cookson, the one out in front, Burgoyne, Merrill, Jocelyn. And look at them fighting and clawing for position. 3 wide, 2 rows back into the corner. We're coming to the open hand this time by. 5 to go from your flagman when they work off turn 3 and 4. And it's Max Cookson leading the way.
Max Cookson doing what he needs to do. He was one of the fastest drivers in practice and qualifying. He's looking to do the same here with the race lead as they make their way down the back straightaway.
Just after halfway, around lap 75, he came to the pit lane for his pit stop. Whatever adjustments he made it work. He came back from 14th, rallying through the cautions. And the green flag runs to the front. His last restart here, he got around Matthew Burgoyne. Burgoyne will fall back 2 car lengths. The leader is Cookson. 3 to go here at Irwindale.
Here they go, heading down into turn 1. The 24 stays out of harm's way as the field tries to work their way around him. As they work down the back straightaway, here comes PJ Merrill for 2nd place.
Couple of laps remaining now as they work off turn 4. Cookson out in front. Caution is out. Yellow flag. We go to overtime as the 111 of Conley goes around. Caution out for Ed Conley's car. And you want to go to overtime? You got overtime, Taylor. Here we go.
Here we go indeed, as we'll take a look at the incident, what happened to Conley. This is coming out of turn number 2. Did he just lose it around? No, he had to avoid one other car, the 86 machine, collecting several others.
So, yellow flag will fly here, and we go into overtime. Gotta wonder, bump and run plumbing coming. What are you thinking from Burgoyne? Does Merrill got a shot? Does Jocelyn got a chance to make something happen here? He climbed quickly in the top 5 there, Taylor.
I mean, he does have the freshest set of tires along with Caleb Willett as well, so they may have a shot to try to send something up there in these closing laps, but they got to do it quick.
Shootout time. And ready to settle it here now with Cookson. The lights are already out for the pace car. Overtime number 1 will go for 2 attempts. Cookson, Burgoyne, Merrill, Jocelyn, top 5, along with Bubar. And it's go time. You better have your 2 best laps, and Cookson might have just had the best virtual restart of the night right here at Irwindale for the 39 car. He's off in turn 1 and 2. Look at Merrill. We're going to the inside. Run on Cookson. White flag here now. Boy.
Turn number 2. It's going to be Cookson who holds off Burgoyne as they work down the back straightaway.
Burgoyne sent it in there, and this is what I was telling you about. Sometimes you got to back off on the bottom, and it's not going to work. Max Cookson comes to the line. He will win at Irwindale, but you cannot give a lack of trying to Matthew Burgoyne or Merrill as they're crashing in turn number 1 on the cool-down lap. That's what I was talking about. I think he overshot the gap, Burgoyne did, and Cookson knew, I just need to hold my line. Burgoyne cannot get me from doing that drop on the bottom. And he wins the race here at Irwindale tonight.
Burning it down here in California style here. Gets a triple donut out there. Tries to get one more big one as well.
Cookson is the winner. Let's take a look at the Maine Sim Racing Series post-race results here for tonight. Presented by Live Sim Racing. Max Cookson is the winner. Unofficial, Matthew Burgoyne in 2nd, PJ Merrill 3rd. Jocelyn will let the top 5. Bubar, Ricker, Currett, Smith, and Dyer the way they are. The top 10 here at the end of tonight's race at Irwindale, which did not disappoint, Taylor.
It certainly did not indeed, as Tyler Connolly and the rest of the field works their way through. Chris Fortier, Nathan Barth, Tyler Jordan, who could not recover after his incidents, Stephen Allen, David Greenleaf, Ryan Conover, Justin Galox, Scott Tapley, and Ed Connolly round out your top 20.
York will go 21st, DeSanto 22nd, Arthur Jordan 23rd, Treadwell 24th, Israelson 25th, disqualified. Jack McKee will finish in the rundown of 26 cars. Everyone else was out of the race or race control for Sean Kimball. Coming up, the Press Box Motorsports Podcast Show post-race update. We'll grab a word with the top three. We'll wrap it up at Irwindale. Taylor Burris, I'm Wesley Outland. Great work by Charles Wooten. We had a little technical glitches, but we got you through it. And when it's all said and done, Max Cookson, another win on the Maine Sim Racing Series. We're back in a moment. This is iRacing on LSRTV. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to iRacing on LSRTV and the Maine Sim Racing Series. What a show! Irwindale Speedway. The outer track did not disappoint. Taylor Burris, I'm Wesley Outland. Charles Wooten, thanks for jumping in and working the first part of the race and, of course, handling the production. And when it's said and done, Max Cookson gets a last race pass under 10 to go on Matthew Burgoyne to pick up the victory. Merrill third. We're going to grab these guys for our Press Box post-race wrap-up here show. Don't forget the Press Box Motorsports Show podcast. Either going to be Sunday afternoon or Sunday morning, Sunday night. They ain't decided yet. Charles ain't decided yet. Anyhow, got a lot to cover. And we're going to grab now third place as we're going to grab PJ Merrill first. PJ, you're on the podium. Pretty exciting race. Irwindale did not disappoint. What's your take of it? And, of course, having a good solid run to finish on the podium here, bud.
Yeah, it's always a good day to end up in the top three. But, you know, this place is just really hard to pass. Came from the back a couple of times, which I didn't think we'd end up doing, but we did it.
One thing we got to ask as well, PJ, you know, you came close with a couple of close calls here at Irwindale, but we saw the High Line be king here tonight. What makes Sierra Racing at Irwindale so unique compared to some of the other races we've already started with the Maine Sim Racing Series?
It's really unique because if you can run way down by the grass, if you do it right and time it right, and top guy screws up a little bit, but the top's really dominant here. Just a fun place to race.
A very exciting event for sure, man. If there's anything that you might have been able to do differently to possibly on that restart, PJ, what would it have been? And I got to say, what an improvement for you, because you kind of had some slumps of bad luck here on this series. So it's what a great way to turn around and finish on the podium.
Yeah, it has been a great way to turn around, but the only way I could have done anything is to pretty much go through the grass in turn 1 and take us all out. But didn't think that was a good idea, so we didn't do it.
Sponsors, buddy, thank them on the 00. Good place for third tonight.
Yeah, I'd like to thank Rolling Sons Trucking, Sean Kimball for putting this all on, and you guys for broadcasting it.
There you go. There's the 00. PJ Merrill, he'll finish on the podium here tonight. As I said, been kind of a downward slump for him, but a good solid run here tonight at Irwindale. Matthew Burgoyne will settle for the number 2 spot. Matthew, you're taking this race second. If you had to do it again, would there have been some more mirror driving to get it hold off Cookson, or was he just that strong of a car, bud?
You can always Monday morning quarterback it. I think, the biggest thing that fell into his favor is that perfectly timed caution that came out when he was 7 thousandths. That was second ahead of me, and I was coming back over for the crossover. But the dive bomb worked. Caution came out absolutely perfectly timed. And I really don't know what else I could have done other than maybe pit a little bit later, but that also gave me some track position. So it was a really fun race. Max is phenomenal, and he flat out outraced me there at the end of that race.
Well, of course, Matthew Burgoyne, we got to talk a little bit about, of course, we got a lot still racing left to go in the season. How confident do you feel in trying to get your way up? You've been fast for quite a bit of the season already. Do you feel like you have what it takes to take home the championship?
We'll see. A lot can happen. We got to start in the back every week, every time we get top 3, and it's very hard to miss everything. Tonight we got lucky and came through with 0 damage, and anything can happen.
I'll tell you what, Burgoyne, it was a fun race tonight, man. Obviously, the restart with 5 to go, the shootout for the finish, the overtime. Did you think that Cookson was going to move you, bump you, hit you? He passed you cleanly, and then you dropped to the bottom of the racetrack. If you had to go back and do it again, quarterbacking, as they said, pass quarterbacking after the end, would you have dropped to the bottom of the racetrack, coming to the white flag like you did, and lost that momentum?
Honestly, I would have done it a little bit harder so that I could cleared him. But then again, he would just get the run back. I would needed a time caution. I knew if I waited one more lap, he was going to protect it coming into the checkered. So there was going to be no way to dive bomb unless I drive through the grass and take him out. So it was the only opportunity I got. I kind of dove in. I could have backed up my corner, try to get a run off, but you just can't clear him. So I probably would have been better off to dive it in a little bit harder, slide up, clear him, but he would have just came back. I would have needed a perfectly timed caution. But
well, on to the next one. Thank your sponsors, bud.
Yeah, I got to thank Caudle's Automotive Repair. I got to thank Maine Ductless and Heating and Air for sponsoring the race, and Sean for everything he does.
Well, there's the driver, of course, of Matthew Burgoyne. He'll settle for the number 2 spot. Victory Lane, Max Cookson, 39. What is this, 3-4 wins this year on the series? Congratulations to you, buddy. What a way to come back after the pit stop.
Yeah, thank you. It was a hard-fought win, and I had some damage, and I didn't quite think I was going to be able to get Matt there, but everything kind of fell into my hands, and we were able to hold on.
Walk us through some of the difficulties you had to overcome right there in order to come out on top with this win here, Max.
Yeah, we pit for tires, air, and fuel, and then the restart went back green, ended up getting a bunch of nose damage, and I thought that was going to be the end of our night, and I got up to second and really didn't have anything for Matt under green, I don't think, and threw a slider on him and got a lucky yellow there, and went back one, had a 10-15 lap run at the end of it, was able to kind of maintain my position out a couple car lengths, and then the end of it was just a battle of fruition there, who was going to pull the bigger move, and thought we were.
I'll tell you what, Max, Irwindale's just a fun racetrack to race on. How much fun was it in the race tonight, besides winning, but just the competition that was out there? We saw 3 wide, easily 2 wide, 4 wide, even 5 wide before wreck ensued. Definitely an entertaining place, no doubt.
Yeah, it's a tricky joint, and Matt really likes these odd places, so he was pretty pumped up for this race, and he was tough to beat tonight. But just got to thank Sean and Gleason Smith tonight, and Mike Harnish, and all the sponsors of the league, and you guys for broadcasting this, and everyone makes it happen.
Well, when it's said and done, Matthew Burgoyne, again, second place because Max Cookson got around him on the late race restart in overtime to pick up the win here tonight at Irwindale Speedway. Max Cookson, another win, the Maine Sim Racing Series. So that's going to wrap it up. Taylor, your take of tonight, and fun time, fun race. Irwindale never disappoints, and we'll reset. We'll prepare them to go racing again next week. Where are we at next week, Sean Kimball?
Next week, we go to Lucas Oil.
Lucas Oil Raceway in Indianapolis. Kind of love that racetrack. It should be a fun time, no doubt about it. The flat half-mile racetrack there in Indiana, just outside of Indianapolis. Taylor, your final take of this race, buddy. Good show tonight.
It was a really good show. A lot of hard racing. The closing laps. But of course, one thing is we saw a lot of cautions. I'm pretty sure some drivers are going back to the drawing board as they get ready for Lucas Oil next week.
Yeah, they'll reset. They'll try to go again here, and it should be a very, very fun time. As always, follow us at iRacing and at LSRTV, Rocket Racing Media on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. For Charles Wooten, Taylor Burris, I'm Wesley Outland. Good night from Irwindale. The Maine Sim Racing Series outer track Irwindale goes to Max Cookson. We'll do it again next Wednesday. Stay tuned on Sunday for the Press Box Motorsports Podcast, Finish Line, and more next week. iRacing on LSR TV. Be good to one another, and thank you for watching.